Welcome back, folks, to the Craig Bushon Show out of the beautiful Lion and Rose out here in Westlake, Texas. If you don't know where that's at, well, then you don't know where Austin is. And if you don't know where that's at, well, you're going to have to Google it because I'm not going to draw you a line. You can just Google it right now, but check it out. Seriously, it's a great place. We're out here periodically with our partners with New Revolution Now and the Austin Tea Party. As you know, I'm not a Tea Partier, but I do believe in the majority of what they stand for. Okay? And part of that is capitalism. Part of that, when I say capitalism, I mean the laws of capitalism. Laws of capitalism. So if you break those laws, well, you know what? You should be held accountable. We don't do that anymore in this country. We save ones that shouldn't be saved and don't save the ones that do. And just go back to my earlier segment on the show with good old Hostess. I guess they need a bailout also for the Twinkie. But that won't happen because it was the unions, actually, that shut them down. But anyway, I digress. Right now, I'm excited because this segment of the show is, like I promised earlier, that we're going to talk with one of the two new programs on Be First in Media that is now, and I'll do the drum roll for you in my head, and it's called Be First in Gaming.
Wow.
It'll be BeFirstInGaming.com. And this person to my right is going to be the new host. He's an Army veteran. He is fought for us overseas, and he has played video games. It's a huge thing, not just here in the States or across the globe in the private sector. It's also a big thing in the military. And I want to welcome you, James Gaspar, to the program. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's great to be out here. The nachos are awesome, by the way.
Oh, did you have the nachos?
I had the nachos.
I'm telling you, this place is fantastic. It's a British pub. The bagpipes were playing. When I came in, they weren't playing for you, were they?
No, they weren't here.
Well, for me, when I walked in, there was a young man playing the bagpipes. And I want to think that it was for me because he left. Once I came through the door, he packed it up, he put it in a backpack, and he left.
You know, we used to, the drill hall was down the road, and we used to eat here every
really?
so often. Yeah.
Well, then you know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's exciting. I'm very excited about this new show that we're doing, and I'm so happy that you have decided that it is worthwhile to get involved with. I mean, you've got your history in the media world. Tell a little brief, Reader's Digest about who you are. I mentioned you're a veteran, all that. Just real brief on that, and then why the heck we think this is a good idea.
Well, you know, I've been playing games for 25 plus years, so giving away a little bit of my age. I'm 32 years old, and I still play video games. There is my AA version of it. But you know, I got my first Nintendo when I was 8 years old, back in 1988, and it wasn't until I got into the Army that I kind of rekindled a lot of that gaming love. And that was, we were in Iraq, and a lot of the guys, you know, you're doing 12, 16, 24-hour missions at a time, and the only release you had was your Xbox, your PlayStation, whatever gaming system you had. And that was how we relaxed. And so you'd have guys, you know, all bunched around this little tiny TV playing Halo, and you would have wires from tent to tent or building to building all over the place to be able to play Halo. And that was our big deal. And so we all played Halo on our off time.
Well, it's amazing. You would think you've had enough battle when you're out there battling. Then you come in and you want to battle again.
Yeah.
Whether it's Battlefield or it's Call of Duty
yeah,
or it's Halo.
Absolutely. You know, and to me, that there were some games that it took a while for me to kind of get onto. Call of Duty, the Call of Duty series. It took me a little while to actually get back into that because, you know, as a mechanic, you don't want to go to work, be a mechanic, and then come home and then play a game about being a mechanic. Maybe a race car driver, but not a mechanic. So Halo for me was the big one because it was science fiction. It was enough difference, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
I still like the genre. And so Halo was huge for me, and I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with the games. I'm still playing it. I'm on Halo 4 now, and I can't get enough of it.
Well, Be First in Gaming, folks, is what we're launching. It'll be BeFirstInGaming.com, part of the Be First Media Group. Obviously, we have Be First in Media, we have Be First in Business, we have Be First in Marketing, we have my flagship program, the Craig Bushon Show, we have the Regular Guy Show, or the Common Man Show, as I call it, the Regular Guy Show. That's so funny. Gabe's the host of it. He's here today. He's also part of a new program called Latin Style, and we're going to have Veronica and Gabe on a little after James talking about what we're doing within the Latino world. But the bottom line is, this is a big deal, I believe, because there's so much misinformation out there. And there's a couple of things. We've got the holiday season right now.
We got the holiday season coming up. You know, to put it in perspective of how big this is, what was it? The Avengers, the first week, pulled in about $1 billion. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was like $80 million for Avengers the movie the first night it was out.
Yeah. Yep.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 pulled in $500 million in 24 hours.
It just went over $1 billion. I was online looking. It's over $1 billion now. And a lot of people would think, and a lot of parents out there right now, and I want to defend the youth. I'm a big believer in the youth of this country. I think that they just get a bad rap so many times. The gaming world is probably one of the biggest things. All my kids playing games all the time.
They're not going to be bailed out anytime soon.
But statistics. Here's what's interesting. Folks, the average age of a gamer in this country is 34 years old. The average age of the most frequent game purchaser is 39 years old, so it's even older than that. And then 12 years is the average number of years an adult gamer has been playing computer, or because it's not just consoles like Xbox 360 and PS3 and Wii, also the PC world's gigantic, but there are more adults playing over 25 than there are kids.
Absolutely. A lot of these adults grew up playing Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, Contra, Pong, Kong, all those games. And so those guys and girls and people just all grew up playing the games. They all grew up doing these things. And so they didn't stop. They didn't just say, hey, I'm too old, I'm going to stop playing the things I enjoy. They kept going. And the gaming market actually evolved with them. You're seeing the Call of Duties. Call of Duty is absolutely marketed for an older market. You're seeing the Assassin's Creeds. These are very, very intense games. They're very they take a lot of attention. They're very, very intensive games, for lack of a better word. But these things really pull you in. So it's not designed specifically for a child. Yes, kids 16, 17, 15-year-olds are playing these games, but they're very high-end thought processes going into it.
But a lot of kids today, it's the holiday season, it's Christmas time, it's Hanukkah, it's there's a lot of kids out there going, hey man, I want to have this game. They might be 11. And they see the Call of Duty commercials, right? That's the big deal. What's out there for for the parents to kind of filter what's going on so they know, because listen, there are still a lot of people out there, a lot of parents who don't game, and they don't know the difference between them. They just see the title and that's it.
Absolutely. Well, parenting in video games and parenting in anything is key. There is no specific one right thing that's going to be textbook right for every person. So you may have a 16-year-old that wants to play Call of Duty, and you decide that that's not good for your family. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be. And when they're 18 years old and old enough to make their own decisions, they can go ahead and play Call of Duty at that time. However, if you do decide that it is appropriate for your children, then that's okay too. And then you set the guidelines and limits to their gaming. Is 8 hours of gaming appropriate? Sure. Why not? Why not? Is 8 hours a day gaming appropriate? You might have to take a look at that. I wouldn't say that is, but really, how much your children are playing is up to you. If you want to set a limit of 2 hours, that's great. And we can talk about that a little bit more at another time, because there's so much. I mean,
heck, some of these games you can't even get going on them for 2 hours.
Absolutely. My wife will say, hey, I need you to take out the trash. And I'll be like, hey, honey, can you give me a half hour just to save my game to take out the trash? And so there's kind of a balancing method there. As a parent, you have to be able to give a little and say, hey, okay, I'm going to respect you and allow you to save your game. And you have to give that same respect back, as a child, and say, yes, I'm going to take care of my responsibilities. I'm going to pause. I'm going to save. I'm going to do whatever it is I have to do to keep the peace within the family and respect my family, and then move from there.
Well, a lot of people are worried about their kids, not getting enough, not going outside. We have the heaviest youth in the history of this country. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want my kids sitting in front of the TV playing video games or watching reruns of a television show either. But there are video game solutions to that, isn't there?
Yeah, even school districts were starting to get involved with that. The Nintendo Wii broke out in this new market with motion gaming. It became a revolution. Elderly people started playing games because they were in their wheelchairs. They were maybe not as mobile as they used to be, and so they started playing like the bowling games and started playing the tennis game. They were starting to move. We see it in the Xbox 360 with the Kinect, and also in the PlayStation 3 with the PlayStation Move. And so now you've got these huge dance games where they actually teach you the dance moves to the games. And these sensors are now sophisticated enough that it can actually know what your body is doing in real time and be able to map it out in 3D so that it has a correct gesture. It can actually analyze your gestures correctly. Those are big deals. I wouldn't say it's a replacement for working out, but it can help you. I mean, look at Zumba. Zumba has been a big hit in all the gyms lately, and now you can Zumba at home. It'll teach you all the dance moves. It gives you all the music. It gives you everything. So yes.
And it's more affordable because you don't have to pay to go to the Zumba classes. Not trying to take the Zumba business away from the Zumba people, but there are affordable ways for the whole family to get involved and to become athletic.
Absolutely.
And there's some big stats out there right now, folks. And this is what's interesting. A lot of people believe, like I mentioned earlier, that the kids are the ones playing the games. Well, here's what I can tell you. And a lot of you go, well, it's not me, I'm not doing it. Well, somebody's not telling the truth because 67%, so almost 7 out of every 10 homes in this country has video games in it. Okay? And you think, well, yeah, it's because of all the kids. Well, here are the stats, folks. This is the latest stat, late 2010. Of the 100% of the people who are playing video games, under 18 years old, 25%.
Wow. 18
to 49 years old, 49%.
It's the old gamers that are really
18 to 49.
We're pushing it.
Now here's an even crazier stat. Over 50. There are more people over 50 in this country playing video games than there are kids under 18. 25% under 18, 26% over 50. That is a huge statistic that you don't hear out there. That's mind-boggling because 50 years old, that's going back to when 30 years ago when gaming really started happening. That put that person at about 20 years old.
Absolutely. Think about when you were back then. Atari was huge. That was a big deal. Nobody had ever seen anything like that. It was a huge deal.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's progressed, and every generation is progressing, pushing it farther and further. Kids these days don't remember Nintendo, and I'm sitting here going, man, I remember 8-bit Mario and Saving the Princess and The Legend of Zelda. I'm like, wow, games are so much different than I remember them. And now we're even having what's called retro gaming. That's become huge, where now you can go to, I think I saw it at Dollar General, where they had a retro Atari unit.
Oh, I've seen Asteroids, Defender.
Absolutely.
I've seen Berserk. I've seen all these big console games, the big ones at the arcade games, I should call them. And now they make them on a disc where you can have all of them on a disc and play them right on your game, on your PS3 or whatever.
And the video game industry has really broken through a lot of different. They've broken through a lot of different genres here. Now we're looking at them breaking into movies. Look at the Resident Evil movies, or how about Wreck-It Ralph, where it had I went and saw that, by the way, great movie. Wreck-It Ralph had a lot of the old, it had Super Mario, it had Zangief from Street Fighter, it had a lot of that old, and it was just a fun movie.
Sure.
It didn't specifically talk about one game. It wasn't about one game. It was actually a whole new concept. But Wreck-It Ralph was a great one where the video game industry kind of has moved beyond just gaming into movies, into books, into
Well, they've captured the mindset, like Splinter Cell.
Absolutely.
I love Splinter Cell. I'll just watch my son play because it's like watching a movie.
Yes.
It's truly like watching a movie. And now they've just casted the movies. Obviously, now that they're casting the movie, it's going to be made. That's a big deal. And it falls really into kind of the superhero stuff where Stan Lee wrote comic books, in the 50s and 60s, and Spider-Man and the Hulk and Fantastic Four. Now they're making those into movies. And it's because when I was a kid, I would read comics, so that was my mindset. They're making movies for that. Video games, now they're making movies for video games, obviously much faster than I had to wait a long time for the modern day Spider-Man to come out, or the Hulk, or the Avengers that just came out, you mentioned. But the fact is, the mindset is what the advertisers are going for. The capitalist market needs to go after people's interests, And gaming is a huge thing. $500 million is a big, big deal. And that's rivaling
in 24
anything
hours.
out there. That's 24 hours. That's unbelievable. So much for a bad economy globally. I mean, people are spending their money.
And then I saw a statistic out there somewhere saying that the gaming market is one of the few markets that has held strong. Even through the recession, that's been one of those things where everybody said, hey, technology and gaming has held strong regardless. And that's because people are willing to give up a lot of things. They're willing to give up, traveling. They're willing to give up, they're willing to give up some of their grocery money just to be able to have that new technology. It's
kids are on top ramen, but they got the latest edition of Battlefield.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, a lot of people, it's funny, guys, this is specifically to you. A lot of people, well, you got to be careful gaming. The ladies aren't going to like that. You're going to lose the ladies. Well, here's the statistic. 40% of all gamers are females. Wow. Now that shocks me.
It was funny because I was at the Call of Duty midnight release over at GameStop, and we had one girl there that came in and she smoked all the guys. She was blowing them away, and I think she actually won one of the competitions that was being held there, and then left. She was kind of done. She beat all the guys and was done. And so all these guys were talking smack and saying, "Oh, you're just a girl," and she smoked them away. A lot of these girls, they're teenagers. They have boyfriends that play Call of Duty. They start playing Call of Duty, or they may start playing the game themselves. The World of Warcraft is very big with females, males as well, but females. World of Warcraft is doing very well.
Well, 40% is a big number.
40% is a big number. So the female market, the gaming industry, is like any other capitalist industry. They want people to play, and there's no conspiracy behind it. They just want to put out a product. They want to put out a product, have you pay for the product, and then hopefully have you enjoy it so much that you want to buy more of their products.
Right. Sure.
And they even expand it and say, hey, you like our product so much, we want you to buy our T-shirts. We want you to buy this. Borderlands 2, great game. And Borderlands 2 has expanded, and now they sell T-shirts on their website. Gearbox does, and so now you can get T-shirts with your favorite character on it. And look at Halo. Halo started off as a video game by Bungie, and now they have books, entire novels dedicated to it, and they've actually started expanding it. So now that the games are reflecting what's in the books.
Sure.
So
absolutely, you're seeing with Star Wars, we're seeing with a lot of stuff. Now, Christmas is here, Hanukkah's here. Whatever holiday the person's celebrating this time of year, it's here. Okay, and you put a list together of some stuff. A lot of people listen. Not everyone has the money to spend $300, $400, $500 on something maybe like this. And before we get to your list, tell the folks what this is. This is very interesting. This is something I had never seen before. And just give the folks a Reader's Digest of this little magic box that's sitting here. It looks like a James Bond type of a...
Yes. This is the Games G155 personal gaming environment.
Go ahead and open it up.
Let's open this up here. And what this is, as you can see, there is an Xbox. And when you open it up, the screen's built right into here. It has the stereo sound. It's all HDMI. You can either use an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3 in it. It's got a foam-fitted pad. It's got these little these cases, so you can put all your cords. So everything that you need to game actually goes into this box, and it's portable, and it just sets up. I've been traveling with this for a couple of months now, and I love it. It goes everywhere I go. And I just looked on their website. They actually got this approved by the TSA to be able to travel on planes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
well, that's good news.
Yeah, and the cool part is you can set this up anywhere. You can set this up on the corner. You can set this up obviously in a restaurant. We had it here working a few minutes ago. We were playing Halo 4 in the preparation of the show. You could set this up in your car.
And this isn't specific just to Xbox.
No, it's specific.
PS3,
you can put it in. It straps in with the straps.
Now, what about the older models that are a little bit different shape than this?
Yes, the older model, it actually had the foam pad flips over, and it fits it. And it's perfectly fitted in there so it doesn't move. That foam pad acts as a shock absorber. And, I can't talk highly enough about this thing. I've loved it. And through the season, we've been seeing a lot of people pick up on this. We're seeing it advertised a lot more, and that's because people want to take their games with them. I had a Game Boy, and I absolutely love the Game Boy, but I went to my wife and I was like, honey, I want to trade this in because I'm just not playing it. I want my Halo, I want my Mass Effect, I want to be able to take the games I love with me.
Well, the stats say that there's a lot of you 50-year-olds now saying, how do I get one of these? How do I get one of these? How do they get one of these? What do they cost?
You can get them on Games Gear. I've got the website, and I'll give you give it to you in the show notes. Microsoft Store is actually selling them.
Really?
I bought this unit, the games unit, with the Xbox for $399.
Wow,
that is
reasonable.
the monitor, the monitor, which is part of the case, and the Xbox. Everything here was $399.
And everything just goes inside here. It Velcros in.
Yeah, it all Velcros in.
You shut it down.
And you shut it down, and you're good to go.
That's fantastic.
And the cool part is, like, when I pull that out, everybody flips out because they see it and they go, "Hey, what is that thing?" I open it up and they're like, "That's the coolest thing." Even non-gamers sit there and go, "That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life."
1080p screen.
1080p. They actually advertised it as a 720, and I found out because I had my Xbox set to 1080. All of a sudden, it popped up and said 1080p. So they advertised 720. I've been getting 1080p out of this.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, that's fantastic. All right, so that's for the ones out there that are saying, all right, I got the money to spend. Now, what about stocking stuffers, something that's so in their budgets, under $50, or maybe it's $20. What can people get?
Okay, so I put together a little list here, and one of the things that everybody forgets about on holidays is batteries. I've been stressing this, and my family's kind of gotten it and said, "Look, dude, don't you have enough batteries?" No, there's never really enough batteries, and I've got a huge collection of batteries now. But I've been using the Rayovacs. I got them at Walmart. I went to rayovac.com earlier today, and they actually have a sale going on. It's like $23 for a set. You get 6 AA's, 6 AAA's, and a charger. And the great thing is, off of these Rayovac batteries, I've been getting about 2 or 3 days of long gaming sessions before I need to recharge, and they've just been I've been using them for several months now. They've just performed equally, if not better, than any of the other batteries out there. I've interchanged them with different battery manufacturer changers or chargers. They work. Nickel metal hydride is the one you want to get. Be very specific to nickel metal hydride. Very good source on that. Another one is used games. A lot of people forget about used games, and that is a huge market out there. If you're looking for a cheaper game, you can go out there and get a couple of games for $14 or less. If you miss the Black Friday sales, because
a lot of people will buy a game, even like a Call of Duty, the latest one, play it for 2 or 3 weeks, say, okay, I've had enough, and then trade it in.
Absolutely. I've seen somebody trade in a brand new game. They paid $60 and traded it in 2 days later.
Yeah, does he have this? I think my son's one of those people that you're talking about.
Yeah, they'll pay $60 for a game. Luckily, the used gaming market's doing pretty good. Again, that's based on capitalist principles of demand, supply and demand,
sure.
And so yes, you're not going to get as much as you paid for it, maybe not as much as you want. The other one is GameStop Pro Rewards. If you're a gamer out there and you got this Pro Rewards, this is a great gift because you sign on for the Pro Rewards. It's $14.99. You get a year magazine subscription to Game Informer. The other cool thing about it is you also get a coupon for buy 2, get 1 free on used games. You can use the points. I've actually bought several strategy guides with the points, so I didn't even have to use money. I just went and did that, and that's a great gift. Plus, it's a year-long subscription to a magazine. It's $14. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. For the more expensive side, we're starting to see these things called season passes. And this is new to the video game industry. It used to be what's called downloadable content, and we'll save that downloadable content for another show. But you have these things called downloadable content, and it expands the game. It allows you to pay a little money, get a little expansion, and it lets the game live a little longer.
Sure.
So say, hey, you beat Halo. Well, now you can buy an expansion pack for like $9, and now you can play a little more. Yeah. There's more content
helps
to
extend
it.
That investment. Yeah. That's good.
So the season passes allow you to extend that. Now what the season passes do, it's kind of like buy 3, get 1 free. So now they say, hey, you just pay $20, you're going to get everything we ever make for this game forever. and do that.
Well, that's great stuff. And we're going to get this stuff posted up on Facebook. Go to CraigBushonShow.com. James, this is going to be, I think, a fantastic brand new program on Be First in Business. I welcome you to the family. It's going to be great stuff. And you know what? I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to really pay attention to what you're bringing them, because it's great info, a lot of facts, a lot of information that people don't know, a lot of misinformation and disinformation about the gaming world. And I applaud you for your efforts.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being here, and I can't wait to do more. And I'm looking forward to Be First in Gaming.
There you go. BeFirstInGaming.com, folks. I'll tell you, it's going to be a big thing. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And when we come back, we're going to have, like I promised, just spend a couple minutes with another show. And this show is a show that I believe is a long time coming and needed. And it's called Latin Style. And the hosts, Veronica and Gabe, will be on in just about 1 minute. We'll be back.